welcome to this week's episode of Mouse Minds. We are here for you live streaming on the internet here on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook and Twitch. Search us up on Mouse Minds and then on YouTube on the Disney and Beyond YouTube channel. We are here live. We are back with you guys. It's been a little bit of time here. Everybody is excited to be back. We're very excited to be with you guys here. I know Luella has been traveling like what feels like she's gone around the world in 80 days. And then Michael is here with me too. We're so happy to have all of you back. So welcome back, everybody. Anybody
Yeah, I'm
want to
trying
say
to see
anything?
why
Good
I'm
to be
not
back.
published on Facebook. This is so strange. I have it set up. It says it's streaming. I hope it's on my page. I want folks to be able to follow us and listen and enjoy.
Well, I can't see your screen, so I'm just gonna assume that it is working. I I have no idea. Actually, you know what? I'll check for you in just a second.
It says it's
I'll
streaming, but it's Facebook for you.
let's see here. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, I see it. Yep, I see the little red icon there. It says Michael is live. Everybody, watch out. He is live. So no filter here on the Mouse Mind Show. I kid. I kid. We're a family friendly podcast here live for you, and of course, you can find us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. I should plug the app that I've been working on. But I will do that later because I have been working on it and I have made a lot of progress on that. But I think I'll
Nice.
do that later because I've sent you guys photos. You guys have seen it, but it is coming with a podcast player for our show. Wait times for now, all the parks in Orlando and more to be added in the future. Um, of course, we'll add like Disneyland and all that later, but there'll be a lot of other parks, and then of course with the chatbot feature that is inside the app already, you can actually see um, you can actually ask it questions like what is the wait time for such and such ride at um, Disneyland or California Adventure, wherever it is that you're at, or let's say Orlando, whatever that is that you are at. But I am actively getting that together. It is actually going fairly smooth for the most part. Just have to change a few things with the chatbot integration, but it is going very well. So you guys will hopefully see that in the App Store soon. Of course, anything to do with Apple and the App Store does take time for approvals and so on and so forth. So we do have to wait until they say, "Hey, it's good to go," which normally takes about could take up to a week for them to approve it, or they may not even approve it and say, "Hey, you have to fix this," and then I have to resubmit it. So who knows what'll happen with that once I actually put it in there. But once I get it in there, it should be up fairly quickly, and of course that'll be starting on the iOS App Store for your iPhone devices, and then eventually, I will port that over to Android. Um, I should hopefully be able to get that over fairly quickly, but oh, here we go. You know what? I'm gonna add some of these photos here so you guys can see like a little sneak peek of the app itself here and see what we're working with here when it comes to the app. Hold on one second. I have a couple screenshots here. Let's see if I can. Okay. Oh, it won't let me. Well, it won't let me do that. Okay, I don't know why it's not working, but basically, the app is amazing. It has a tab for your wait times. It has a tab for a podcast player where you can find all our episodes for our podcast, and then of course you have the attractions answers chatbot, which actually does provide answers to all your theme park questions. So you can ask it about Lightning Lane. You can ask it about what the wait time is. You can even check for like reservations. It obviously can't book the reservations for you, but it can check to see if there are reservations available at a park for a certain restaurant or something like that for you. So it's pretty handy. I like using it in the parks myself. I've been testing it out, and I find it to be I know that there are dedicated apps for the parks to do this, but it's in the age of chatbots and like that, it's very nice to have that functionality to be able to ask those questions and just get the answers using those natural language questions. So I really do enjoy that. But moving on from that here, so this week we are going to. I mean, hey, we're in it. We're in the thick of spooky season. As they say here in Orlando, it is time to play in the fog, in reference to the fog at Halloween Horror Nights. But of course, we're going to be talking about all the wonderful things that are happening at Disney this year when it comes to Halloween and all the spooky things. And of course, I wanted to kick it off with Luella because she has limited time here, but we definitely wanted to get your perspective on what's happening on the West Coast for events this year. What do you guys have going on over there?
Well, can you hear me? Just want to ensure you can hear
We
me.
certainly can. I can hear you a lot better than we could earlier.
Okay, well, one of the fun things we have, and it's actually the last one, is we had the Run Disney Halloween run last weekend.
Ooh, that's cool.
So that was a lot of fun. Really adorable Halloween medals. And if you aren't aware, they have to kind of temporarily stop the West Coast Run Disney runs because of the expansion in the parks that are going to be happening. So this was the last Halloween run, but it kind of kicked off Halloween season. And what's nice about, I mean, I feel like Halloween it's a little bit too hot for Halloween right now. I feel Halloween starts a little bit too early. I think it's the same there on the East Coast. But the exciting thing about Halloween season here is they transition the rides. And so, for example, we have the Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween overlay, which is a lot of fun. And that starts the feels of Halloween. I really love that overlay here.
That is one thing that
And
I
then,
have not got to do, and the few times that I have been to four or five times to Disneyland. I there was one time where I just missed it. They were just doing the overlay, and I just missed. I was like a couple weeks out from it, so I do have to get back for that. That is something that I myself haven't been on, but I can say that Disney does a really good job when it comes to like overlays and things like that for uh the rides. I'm surprised because we have I wonder if they'll ever, maybe it wouldn't go, but I know we have the Jingle Cruise for Jungle Cruise. I wonder if they would ever do like a Halloween thing for that, but I guess it really wouldn't fit with the theme. I don't know. They can make
yeah,
it
I'm
fun.
not sure. And I think overlays, it takes time, right? You actually,
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion is closed for a bit when
Mm-hmm.
they make that overlay. So if you happen to go to the park and Haunted Mansion is closed, then you missed out. So I don't think at World they'd like to close those rides. You have so many people coming from abroad, whereas here in the West Coast, it's a lot more tourists.
Mm-hmm.
So not tourists, locals. So closing the ride, it's still unfortunate, but it's not as big a loss. So, but it takes time to do an overlay. I wouldn't say you'd be able to do that overnight. It has to be closed for a couple of days or even weeks. So, but that's one of the fun things that's happened. We had the Halloween run, so we get to see Halloween characters, and then we have the overlay. And our night party actually takes place in a separate park, not in our Magic Kingdom, not at Disneyland. It takes place at DCA.
Mm-hmm.
So both parks gets really great decorations. DCA has the Halloween party, and then Disneyland has the Haunted Mansion holiday. I mean, yeah, the Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas and all the other decorations.
Have you had a chance to experience anything yet this season, or not yet?
I have done the Haunted Mansion. I have
Okay.
done that. The Nightmare Before
Okay.
Christmas. I've done that. And of course, when I ran around the park, when I did the Run Disney Run,
Mhm.
so I saw all the decor there. Because it's kind of weird. We have the 70th anniversary, which just happened, but then they had to kind of like overlay that with the Halloween decorations. So there's this mix of like bright pink and purple 70th anniversary with Halloween.
One thing that Disneyland seems to do well is incorporate characters into their holiday events.
Yes.
Sometimes we get some cool ones too, but the Disneyland ones, they always seem to be able to go a little deeper, and pull out characters that you might not see during the year. So that's something I
Would you say
appreciate
they
about
dig a little deeper?
following remotely and enjoying seeing the characters. Because if you're going to pay to go to these extra parties, you better make it special for me, especially when you're a local, and I don't necessarily need to pay for something that
Yeah.
I'm already paying. So, if you want to get me in there, give me a reason to come. And it seems like they do that.
Yeah, they
Yeah, and they also like to take advantage of limited time food. I'm pretty sure over there too as well. What's really big here is churros. I think the churros aren't as big there because when I went to Walt Disney World, I couldn't really find churros. But here, there's always some special churro in every different section. So that's something fun. Cupcakes, of course, and different appetizers. I try not to actually, I've been trying to cut down on all those sweets. So I haven't tried those. I'm trying to cut down on all that sugar, but it's good for other people to try.
They do make it difficult to cut down.
I mean, what are
Yeah.
You think, "Oh, I'm not going to buy that," and then you start looking online, and you start following this blog or that blog, or you could show up at the park. It's like, well, now I need to try that.
Yeah.
pretty much
That and yeah,
that's how
so
it goes. Are you just, cruise the Disney food blog and then, it's over from there. So don't go on there. I mean,
Do you have any
mhm.
idea what and I guess I could look it up, what the tickets run for the Halloween party at DCA?
Oh, I think I as always, once you get closer to
mhm.
Halloween, the more
Sure.
expensive it gets. But they're a lot and they're sold out
Yeah.
already. So
Well, they sell it over here too, but
so I
let's see here. So, the Oogie Boogie Bash is going for, wow, same price as pretty much as over here.
yeah.
139 to
Hmm.
199 per person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that you get to go into the park a couple hours before. So you can take advantage of doing some
You
rides
get
there.
5 hours
I
in the
think
park. It's not bad.
yeah. And then just something to remember, it is at DCA. It's not at Disneyland.
I mean, there
So
are like shows and stuff involved. Don't they have a special parade for that one too? Don't they?
I think they do. Yes, they have a special parade, but fireworks are take place at Disneyland. So you
True.
don't necessarily need to go to the party
That's the
to
nice
see special
that's the
fireworks.
nice thing about that I've always loved about Disneyland is when it comes to like the holidays. Typically, you don't have to get a separate ticketed event to get some sort of holiday um, event. When it comes to Halloween here, I mean, it's pretty much you either go to Mickey's Not So Scary or you look at the stuff. Are you just walking down Main Street on a regular day and just looking at the pumpkins and things like that. There's no like fireworks or anything like that. So I've always admired them for having a fireworks show during like Halloween that is not behind a paywall. If you can get into
Yeah,
the regular day ticket,
yeah,
which is always nice. I wish we had something over here, maybe at like Hollywood Studios or something like that. It would probably fit in some sort of villains Halloween show. But then again, that would take away from Mickey's Not So Scary. But Mickey's Not So Scary, at least over here, there was a time
hmm,
when it was very it like the prices were obviously a lot cheaper, but even still they limited the amount of people that could get into the party. So when you actually got into the party, the waits for the rides were low. You basically had free. It was so worth it because you had free reign in the park, and then you had all the Halloween stuff on top of that, and then of course they gave you candy too, and it was incredible. But now with the popularity and them and Disney finding out that people will
Yeah.
pay will go to all these things, they'll do all the things,
Yeah.
that they pack it to the gills. And it's the last time I went, which was probably like
Yeah.
2 years ago, it just wasn't worth it because it was so packed.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't go anymore. I just don't find it worth it. But they did back in the day when I first went, and it wasn't called Oogie Boogie Bash. It was called like Mickey's
Mhm.
Halloween Party. Um, believe it or not, it was $10. It was $10 a
I
ticket
remember when it was like
with
$50 a ticket for
candy.
Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah, and I bought the max. I remember you could buy 10 max. I brought 10 and took all my cousins,
Yeah.
but they soon found out, oh, we can increase this
Yeah,
price
yeah, yeah.
and people will still pay.
Well, the crazy thing, I don't know if they do this at Disneyland, but the crazy thing here is you not only there's people. This is crazy. Michael needs to listen to this because his face is gonna be like, what the heck? There's people that not only pay to get into the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party and pay $1.99 to get into the party, but they also pay for a dessert party on top of that, which is almost as much as the ticket price for a fireworks dessert party. So let's think about that for a second, because you're probably giving up, let's say, about 2, maybe 3 hours of your 5 hours in the park to go to the dessert party. So you're taking away from time you already paid
Yeah,
to
that's
go to the party, and you're paying more on top of it to go to the dessert party. I mean, I've been to dessert parties at Magic Kingdom. I did them when they first came out. I've seen them now. I mean, if I'm gonna pay that much to go to Mickey's Not So Scary, I'm gonna go. My mode is to go right to the gift shop, get a big bag, and get as much candy as I can. And that's it. I mean, at least I feel like I got something out of
I mean,
it.
the thing is, those
yeah,
the
that's
dessert party is the same exact, as far as I know. They have a special
Yes,
cupcake.
it is the
Try
same. They might have
terrible
something
cupcakes, but
Halloween
it's the
themed.
same experience. So, as
Yes.
you said, why would you pay and then repay for something you can do literally the same exact thing the next night when there is no party? Um,
Yeah.
it's
It's
folks
really
are
true.
sheep, as I pointed out
It's
time and time
it's
again. They and it's social media. I think that's
yeah.
convincing people to do that.
Well,
But you got. I mean,
you're right.
I think the Halloween party is actually a little cheaper than the Christmas party because that one tops $200. So you're getting a
yeah.
little
So we
better
don't have a
value.
Christmas party.
But when it finally hit me
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, it was the last time I went. I'm standing online for candy, and the line wasn't moving.
Yeah,
And like you said, Robert, I'm like,
that's what
they are
happens.
in no way does it feel like they've limited the
Yeah.
number of people. It was
No,
like
they
they just
haven't.
opened the floodgates and let
Mm,
anyone who wanted to buy a ticket
Yeah.
come in. And I'm standing there going, why did I do this?
Yeah.
And then when you get back to your hotel, because this is when I was flying in, I threw away most of the candy. I'm not flying home with this. I'll never eat
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I think
mm,
people get caught up in the moment. But then when you stop and think about it, yeah, I mean, the fireworks are cool, but you can go
Yeah.
to the Contemporary and watch them from afar, and you can see
Yeah.
still the perimeter,
Yep.
and you can save the money. But if you
Yeah.
have little kids or if you're an adult who's really super into Halloween,
Yeah.
you're not going to convince them that they shouldn't be there.
Yeah. You could honestly,
yeah.
like, at least on our coast, you could eat at California Grill and have a nice view of the fireworks and probably still pay less than what you'd pay for an entry ticket into into the thing and have fireworks right there on top of the Contemporary and just see the whole show. So yeah, I will never understand. And you're right, the lines for the candy. I don't remember if they do candy at the Oogie Boogie Bash. I think they do, but at least over here, the lines for
They
they
do.
never move.
Yeah.
There's so many people. It's like you I mean, it used to be, there was a point where the candy lines were long, but the ride lines were short, and now that's changed. It's just there's just people everywhere, and they sell out
Yeah.
like every night. And then on top of that, I don't know how they do it over there,
Mm,
but over here, it feels like they sell out like weeks ahead, and then mysteriously the night before it opens, they get a magical like amount of tickets that they can sell for that day. So then unless it's like Halloween, then they'll sell like another 200 tickets at the gate. So it's like, I think we lost Luella. I think we lost Luella there. She's flying without a net here on a cellular connection. So I'll
But,
come back to her in
and I
just a
think that's the
second.
difference between Disneyland, Disney World.
Hmm.
A lot of the folks out in Disneyland, you might prepare, but you want people to be able to buy tickets on the fly. And Walt
Yeah,
Disney World, like everything else, if you don't plan ahead of time, the tickets are gone. But it's hard to tell a family who just drove down from Georgia, hey, you know what, the tickets are sold
yeah,
out. Where have you been? So I guess they have to hold a few if they do for same day sales. And then you're at the mercy of whatever the price is. You want to come in, you got to pay. If you don't, skip it.
yeah,
So
100%. There's Luella. Maybe not.
she's frozen. That's okay. When she's back,
That's all right. We'll move on. But yes, I agree. The amount that you pay for the ticket prices. I mean, if it was limited entry, like there was less people there, a lot less people. I mean, it can still be somewhat crowded, but if there's a lot less people there, it would be more advantageous for me to do it. I mean, I do enjoy the Boo to You parade. I do enjoy some of the shows, the villain show, things like that. I do enjoy that stuff, but a lot of those things too, they don't really update those things. They just it's been the same show for years, so there's no I mean, you're basically seeing the same thing every year, and over here I kind of get it because if this is like if your family is really into Halloween and this is the one time of the year that you go to Disney and you have like this is your tradition and you want to see the same thing again and again because this is traditions, it's different when you have the mindset of a local because a local goes all the time. They don't want to see the same thing every year, so on and so forth. I assume in California they probably change things up a lot more just because they have a lot of locals over there. But we'll wait for her to Luella to come back and talk more about that. But I can say, when it comes to Halloween options here, I'm not going to touch too much on this, but I will say Orlando in general has a lot of great Halloween options outside of the Disney park. So next time you're here, if you don't want to do the Disney park, there's a lot of Halloween options at the other theme parks that are less price and more fun, and even some that are designed like for kids and things like that. So but yeah, I mean, Mickey's Not So Scary. It's one of those things where it's like I, I've done it. I've done it a few times, and I can't eat enough candy to make because really the only thing I think that in anyone's mind when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary that quantifies them or makes them feel like they're getting a good value for their money is how much candy they leave with, and you can't leave with $200 worth of Tootsie Rolls.
no.
That's just, I mean, there's no way.
And even if you do, you're not going to eat it.
Yeah,
Shame on you
exactly.
if you're
It's
giving
gonna
that
go
to
to
your
waste.
kids. That's
Yeah, you're just gonna let it go to waste. So, I mean, it's you're there for the experience and the characters and the parade. If you really like the parades, then that's a different story. That's totally um, all on you. The parades, um, you know, then you'll enjoy that. And of course, I mean, they have what the Cadaver Dans. They have the Voodoo Parade. They have the Cadaver Dans. I think those are the ones in the or no, who's I forget the Gravediggers in the parade, the Booty Parade, doing the shovel on the street and making sparks and stuff, which is pretty cool. I do enjoy that, and
but
I can now I'm gonna have that Booty You Parade song stuck in my head all night because I'm thinking about the Booty You Parade. Boo to you, and you and you and you and you. See now I
see
got
now
the
to
song.
your point and to the point of that song, um, You're right, because when I wasn't a local, I would come down, I'd buy the tickets, and literally I would let 4 or 5 years go before I bought them again. I'm old
Hmm.
school. I remember when it was $79 on a good day.
Hmm.
Now it's more than double, and people buy, and as long as the people will buy, they'll keep jacking up the price. But after not having gone for a while and then going back and seeing the same exact parade, same song, same float, same shovel
Yeah.
guys, that I'm like, what did I do? I didn't have to be here. um, yeah, it's nice to go back after 5 years, but
Hmm.
when you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again, at what point does it stop being a value, or does it stop being a requirement or necessity?
Yeah.
So,
I
so for me, it was never. It's not worth it after a while, especially if you're never going to upgrade the show or the
Yeah.
offerings.
And that's the thing. Like the bulk of Mickey's Not So Scary, like really doesn't change that much. Like but again, like I get it because once a year guest. Orlando is not a market for locals. There are some parks that are there for locals, but Orlando is really not a market for locals. People are traveling. This is their once a year trip or twice a year, whatever it is. But they look for the things that they like consistency because it brings them comfort, and they know what they're going to get when they get there, and they get the same thing every year. They don't want to mess with something that works, and I can understand that 100%. I guess it's just different when you're local. You want to see different things because you're tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. So
Well, and to
it's
Llewellyn's point, when you're saying that it takes months to do the overlay,
yeah,
imagine a family coming in for their once a year trip or their once in a 5 year trip, and you tell them, "Hey, Haunted Mansion's closed because we're changing it over to Halloween, Christmas."
yeah,
They're going to lose their mind, and I guess you can't do that. Whereas if you make a Halloween jingle, no, not jingle cruise, but some kind of a rumble cruise
yeah.
or whatever you want to call it, that one, it's less time. Christmas, they go put a hat on a snake or whatever. You're writing a new script that once you wrote it, you can reuse it year after year, because that's the
Yeah.
idea of the jokes anyway. You can add some smoke machines or dry ice. It wouldn't take that ride down for too long. You can get that
Yeah.
turned over.
And
If they're
they
doing
and
the
they
whole darn park in a night, you can do that one
and
ride.
and they do and then like they do an overlay for Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom for the Halloween party. But this is the overlay. And to before I tell you what it is, because it sounds so minimal, but honestly, it is one of the best experiences I've ever ever had on a roller coaster. They not only pipe in spooky themed music, they shut off every single light in the attraction. There is not a single light on because when you ride Space Mountain, yes, of course, Space Mountain is in the dark, but you have a lot of other added effects like it's shooting the stars onto the ceiling and it looks like you're in space and so on. So that stuff, um, it when you're sitting in that much low light and your eyes sort of adapt to that low light, you can still like see like kind of see the track and when they do it pitch black, it is the most disorienting coaster that I have ever been on in my life, and it is so incredible. I remember the first time I did it, I I I was like, "What is going on? Like, what just happened?" Because you go into the first like tunnel there, go around to go into the launch hill, and you're like in your brain, if you're someone that's been on it a lot, you're trying to figure out, okay, where am I in relations to the ride, and trying to figure out what comes next because you can't really see the track. And it's my head was like spinning. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done. You would think that just turning all the lights off would not make a difference because how many lights can a ride that's already supposed to be in pitch dark or in space have? But it's actually quite a bit because you're shutting off things like the lift hill with the scene there and them loading into the spaceship. You're shutting off all the rides inside the queue.
Is that during the Halloween party? They shut that off.
Yes, during the Halloween party.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They do
no
that
other
at
character projections, anything like that.
No,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
single thing.
They do that at Mission. God, what's it called? That one. It's your Hollywood Tower of Terror, but they call that Guardians of the
Breakout.
Galaxy. Yeah,
Mission Breakout.
they had that
Breakout.
Yeah, during the Halloween party, Monsters After Dark, and they shut off everything. And I didn't think that would make a difference, but imagine your Hollywood Tower of Terror with everything off. It's scary.
Oh,
And see, Llewellyn, to your
I have like
point you made earlier, that doesn't take any time as an overlay.
yeah.
You're
exactly.
unplugging some lights. That's an easy, quick fix.
Not even unplugging, just flipping a switch.
Just flipping a switch, and people love it if it's that effective and it's
So
working.
disorienting.
There's
I can't imagine.
no.
I can't imagine being on something like Mission Breakout, and then having the lights off. Like I already don't ride Tower of Terror Mission Breakout. Like I've ridden it numerous times. I don't seek it unless someone begs me to do. I mean, you have to really twist my arm. Like there's probably got to be food involved or some. I have to have a snack after that because I'm literally putting my life on the line for whatever this treat is. That's how I feel about Tower of Terror. But I'll do it. I swear I'll do it. But but yeah, to do it in the dark. Oh my, I didn't even. Wow. I'm shaking just thinking about that. Like that's because I remember how disorienting, and I wasn't expecting the time that I did Space Mountain for it to be as disorienting because I was like, oh, it's just in the dark. Like the ride's already in the dark. But man, that's
Yeah, so I think that's another added plus for the your not so scary Halloween. If you have those options
Yeah, of
for
course.
patrons to go and experience something different. So, but I think that those Halloween parties are not necessarily meant, I'm just my opinion, as a repeatable thing. So if you go every year, that's hard to change something every year. And so maybe they should do something every
change it?
2 to 3 years.
Do they change it a lot over there or no?
They changed the villains.
Yeah.
They,
that alone,
they do
you can
encourage,
make a new offering.
the villains.
Give me a new meet and greet offering
Yeah.
every year. That should be easy enough to do. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think the villains change. I don't know necessarily if World of Color changes as often. Like I said, I don't go to the party anymore. I don't find a lot of
course.
value in the party for myself, for me, just because.
Yeah, of course.
For me, it's always on a work night, and I can't be late on a work night.
Yeah.
So that's just difficult. So, but for other
Honestly,
people, perhaps I know people that go every year. So I know that villains change a lot.
honestly,
Now, you're saying that the bulk of the stuff sounds like it's at DCA. They're still decorating Magic Kingdom, I would imagine, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's great. So, like I said, the overlay of Haunted Mansion, that happens every single year. That is at Disneyland part. So the decoration, the great big pumpkin, all of the characters. So you don't necessarily need to pay for a party to experience Halloween. Now, if you want to go trick-or-treating, you got to pay for that. And that's always at DCA.
Mm-hmm.
But
Got it. Good.
you don't have to enjoy, you can experience Halloween. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's no Christmas party, like extra ticket Christmas party, but the park is decorated Christmas galore. So that's the great part. We don't have to spend extra to see Christmas decorations or holiday decorations, what have you.
And for us, there's a few bits and all the parks, but I think, Robert, Magic Kingdom primarily is just Main Street, right? With a few other bits and pieces thrown in as far as Halloween.
Yeah,
right.
For
There's no
Halloween.
decoration going through Tomorrowland unless it's a holiday party. Adventureland, I think it's mainly Main Street that's decorated.
Yeah, mostly for the decorations, but there are like things around the park. Well, I guess they had the dance stage in tomorrow, and there's little shows. Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, yeah, I mean they do. Yeah, other than like even Haunted Mansion. Well, Haunted Mansion they have stuff. They usually have characters in front of the exit area and like in front of the attraction.
during
but
the non-party night.
not a non-party night.
That's
No,
what I'm saying. So
a
during, if you just
non-party
go on
night
a
is
random Tuesday, you're really only getting that walk up Main Street as far as Christmas. Whereas all the, you go into um, Animal Kingdom, they have the lights stretched all the way back in Africa. Um, they obviously Epcot all the way around. They've got Christmas. Hollywood Studios, it's up the main road and down. They've got the lights every. So I think all but Magic Kingdom are decked out for Christmas.
yeah.
Halloween, I don't think they do much. Right, there's not much offering in
I don't.
Epcot for
I'm
Halloween.
trying to think if they deck the whole park out for Christmas during Christmas time. I don't think like Frontierland or anything like that gets
That's what I'm saying. I think once
crazy
you're
for.
off Main Street, that's it.
Yeah, Main Street is kind of it for the fireworks.
Yep.
So
How is it out in California, Luella? If you can hear
I
us.
think I think we
Done?
They decorate crazy. Yeah, I mean
All.
we have a it's a small world overlay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have a can you hear me?
I've done
We have
that.
a
That's
small world overlay. So but to check this
I saw the one in France, the overlay, but I don't think they didn't overlay. They didn't overlay the Haunted Mansion there. It was still the Phantom Manor.
yeah. That
Yeah.
is
It was nice to see their parade. It was nice to see their overlay. It's a lot like Disneyland with that outside clock, and everything is open. So it was nice. Something to do once. Don't know when I'll be back out in France, but at least I've been there.
well, yeah. Well, they're doing some major renovations to the studios park, so
Mhm.
you know, it's changing. What is it? I can't remember the new name now. Adventure Park, Disney Adventure Park.
Some kind of.
I think so.
It needed some TLC when I was there, and that was 15 years ago. So I'm glad to see it's getting
Yeah.
some love.
Well, it was the one park that got like kind of the least. I mean, everyone kind of like always said it was the worst park.
Yeah,
Disney Adventure World. That's what it is. I couldn't
they
remember.
ran out of money, but they had to build something. So they
Yeah,
did.
that's kind of what happened. Yeah. Yeah.
So have you been to any other parks this year yet, Robert, for Halloween?
I
Are
have
you
not.
going to be
And
going anywhere? You haven't
oh,
done the Art the Clown thing that's taking over the internet?
oh, of course, I'll be there. I don't know when, but I'll be there. I mean, I have a pat. I get a with um my annual pass to Universal. I get a ticket to Halloween Horror Nights. Even if I didn't, I would still purchase a ticket to Halloween Horror Nights. That would be something that I do, regardless. But um, but yeah, I mean, I'm going. I'll go eventually. I just haven't gotten to there yet. It's one of those like Halloween Horror Nights for me is like I want to go with a group. I want to get a group together. I try to get a group together, and then like a lot of people just kind of fizzle out and like, "Oh, I don't want to go, and then I just wind up going by myself, which is fine. I enjoy it. I like going to the houses. I like the set designs in the house. They're absolutely incredible. The scare acting is unbelievable. I've been a scare actor myself before in the past, so I know how much work goes into that and how exhausting that can be. And having, you would think that people would probably think that, standing in one spot for hours and jumping out at people is not really that exhausting, but it's really exhausting, having to get in people's faces and scream and stuff. Trust me, it's that was one of the doing scare acting was one of the most exhausting things I've ever done. So, um, it's a big deal that they have that um, there. So yeah, I'll make it to HHN. I'll probably go to Hallow Scream as well at SeaWorld. I don't know if I'll make it out to Hallow Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa, this year because I don't really. That doesn't really. It hasn't really changed that much, but I mean, they're doing more, I think, at SeaWorld now than they are at Busch, which it used to be the other way around because SeaWorld didn't have a Hallow Scream event. And then of course, I always take my daughter spooktacular at SeaWorld because honestly, I mean it's included with your admission. You get free candy and there's like Halloween stuff. So it's a fun way to just get candy and it's included with the mission. But Halloween Horror Nights is definitely a mess. I mean, I have to go back. I mean, last year I went and as I was leaving, I saw John Stamos and got to talk to him for like 45 minutes. So I mean, I mean, I'm definitely will be going to Halloween Horror Nights. I just don't know what nights or when I'll be going, but I have been to Magic. I have seen the decorations since they got it dressed up for the Halloween, which is always like it's so crazy how instant it is. Like it's like the first week of it's like August 1 hits and then there's Halloween stuff. It's like poof, there's Halloween now. And it's like
Yeah.
every year it's like why don't they just start in July at this point?
And I
Like
feel badly because these parents, they're so excited to get their kids a costume and buy their costume,
Mhm.
forgetting that it's August or even September. The humidity is still
Yeah.
brutal, and you
Yeah.
put your
True,
kid in
true,
some
true.
Sully costume, and it's a 100
Yeah.
pounds of fur, and at some point you take it off and you're carrying it because it's just so
Yeah.
darn hot. So you get it
Unless you wait till the end of the season, but then again the
right.
parks are
It
crowded.
costs
But if
more.
you wait towards the end of the season,
Yep.
it does get better because it does cool down, which it has miraculously cooled down a little bit the last few days in the
Yeah.
area here.
And it's nice.
Um, Even during the day, it's been cooler. I wouldn't say it's cool, but it's been definitely a lot cooler. Like it's not you're not like outside like 5 minutes poof you're sweating.
This year,
Mm.
I've been here in September when I had to literally go back. I
True, true, true,
changed
true.
3 times. I remember running back to the Contemporary and I wound up doing laundry. I was doing laundry on. I was running out of clothes because it was just so
True,
miserable.
true.
Have you do you do Legoland for their Halloween, or
They
your
have
daughter's too old?
their oh my god. What is it? The bricker treat? I should go to that actually. Maybe I'll go that soon. I yeah,
It's called, yeah. Over here, it's called Brick or
yeah,
Treat.
yeah, they have
Brick or
that here
Treat.
too. And they have a fireworks show. The interesting thing about well, see Legoland is more of a Legoland is a kids park. Let's just be honest. I mean, adults are of course welcome to go, but it's a lot of the rides are designed for kids and they're not designed for long legs. So, but that being said, what I the point of that is they do their fireworks show at like 6 or 7 o'clock. But they do have a fireworks show, and it's they do a decent job with the fireworks, and then they have the candy they're handing out and everything else. So I'll probably go over there. I mean, I do. That's another one that's included with your admission. My only thing with Legoland for someone that's in Orlando is it is kind of out of the way a little bit, but it's
No
not.
more than Busch Gardens. Busch
Yeah, Busch
Gardens
Gardens is
that's
yeah,
even
yeah.
further.
But luckily, I mean, the good thing about Busch Gardens is SeaWorld actually offers free transportation from SeaWorld to Busch Gardens. So you could literally like park at SeaWorld and catch a bus over to Legoland and then or not Legoland, Busch Gardens and go there if you wanted to do that. So and that's I believe there's no charge for that or there was no
Still a
charge.
good hour haul out of your
Yeah,
day, so
true, true,
you
true.
got to plan
Oh,
that
hour more than that,
more than
depending on
an
how
hour.
quick.
I'm just being generous, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a haul going out toward Tampa.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really want to do roller coasters, I mean, you gotta go to
It's the
those
way
are
to
the
do
two
it.
spots. Those are the two in the Central Florida area that are gonna have the most. I mean, Epic or Universal would probably be second, and then Disney is third. But they're always constantly adding stuff, so Disney will eventually catch up. But we just speaking of roller coasters in SeaWorld, they just announced they're making an announcement tomorrow, which we're all assuming it's going to be a Vekoma coaster. So that's exciting news. For the next year, they're going to have another Vekoma coaster added to, or add a Vekoma coaster. And they don't have one at SeaWorld, but they're going to add one. So we'll see what that is. Um, but yeah, the
Awesome.
Howl-O-Scream there is at SeaWorld is great. They do a good job with that. Ticket prices are I think like 50, 60, $70 to get into that. So that's not a bad entry point if you're looking for something to do in Orlando that's really spooky, more so spooky than Mickey's Not So Scary. But to be honest with you, when it, like I said, like we've said before, when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary, it's one of those things like I always suggest that you do it once at least, and then see if you like it, if you don't like it, if because I feel like it's either going to be something you really love and have to do again, or it's going to be something that you're like, okay, this is fun, but I don't have to do it again. I don't think
Again,
anyone would hate it, but I don't think that they would feel like some people might not feel the urge to do it again.
sure. So now somebody, I don't know if you saw the question in the Facebook chat, but one of our listeners was asking, and it's kind of to Luella's point, and we touched on it. But
Hmm.
do you think that Disney World visitors would be less forgiving of long overlay downtime, or would balance out well enough with people wanting to see the overlay? So Kyle's asking, would it
I
be
mean,
something
they
that
don't.
would upset folks, or would the end justify the means?
Well,
I guess.
they don't.
Uh,
I mean, for Haunted Mansion Holiday, they literally like shut the ride down. Like
yes.
they literally shut the ride down and do the overlay because it's a massive overlay. Whereas with something like Bingo,
I mean, I this is my opinion. That overlay is there a long
yeah,
time.
it's true.
So it's from
Mm,
August to
mm-hmm,
January because it's Nightmare Before
mm-hmm,
Christmas. So I just don't think at Walt Disney World that people would want to have a Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. I mean, it's so
mm-hmm,
classic, and that's not to say that people here don't want that
mm-hmm.
too. It's just a different. It's a different
But
crowd.
but
So we can sacrifice Haunted Mansion for 6 months, but I don't know
but
over
the
there
thing
if you
is
could.
too with the overlay, like we do the overlay here for Jingle Cruise. I don't think they shut it down for that to do that overlay. That because
Well,
they
again,
just add
the
things in
overlay is so
just to do
small
that
for
little
that. It's
overlay.
just a couple of hats
Yeah,
and a script.
exactly.
So there's no
And then of
special
course they change
lighting.
the
You could put
audio.
lighting in,
They change the audio inside the queue, and there's a couple different, yeah, and of
right?
course the script and things like that. So they
And
don't
then you can
really
do
have to shut it
overnight. So
down.
that's not a shutdown, which is good.
Exactly. You could do it overnight. Exactly.
So yeah, so I don't know if the guests, especially again, if this is your one time there and you happen to be when they're shutting it down, I don't care how wonderful it's going to be later on, or if it's going to
Mhm.
be here through January. I won't. I won't be.
Yeah.
I'm here in August, and it's not something you start shutting down 2 weeks before because you have to. There's a lot that goes into it. You're blocking stuff. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
removing or if they're putting up scrims or if there's things in front of or if you have to clear the room and bring in new stuff. That's not a 2 week overlay, 2 week process. I don't think so. If you're shutting that down for a month or two, and I'm only here for this particular week, I don't care what the guests after me are going to see. My kids and I really wanted to ride this ride that we love seeing, and now you took it away from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, Kyle. I don't know if we could convince folks who spent thousands of dollars to come over from England that oops, we're sorry we shut down. You better announce that way ahead of time, and they know, so you'd have to put that up in the. But people don't read. How many people buy their ticket and then when it's a Halloween party night, they're standing online outside town hall, city hall, saying, "Hey, how come you're shutting down early?" When they pass 7 signs on the way to the ticket booth to buy that ticket for the night when it was closing early.
Yeah.
People don't read. So,
Yeah.
Kyle, I don't know if we could convince folks to do that. Unfortunately, I'd be all for it, but then after a while, it's like I kind of miss the original. So I don't know.
I just say come to
Right.
Disneyland, and next time around, I actually did a private tour of Garner Holt Studios, who is the
Ooh,
company that did the
that is
overlay,
cool.
and I could share about that and
That's cool.
all the little bit of details of how that overlay came into play. And so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful overlay, and it's a beautiful,
And,
beautiful
and
ride.
that's why it's
So
there.
If
come to
you don't,
It's
and
there
if you
so that people can go
yeah.
to Disneyland if you really need to see it that badly.
and if
You
you
know
don't
where you're not going to see it, so take a trip to Disneyland, do something different.
and if you don't know who she's talking about, Garner Holt has done animatronics for Disney for forever, like just forever, like like almost since the dawn of time. And I've met Garner Holt a few times at IAPA and had conversations with him, and just the most amazing person ever. I would love to tour Garner Holt Studios. That would be a dream come true.
For all you fans that are convinced Disney is doing all this stuff on their own, it's not necessarily them.
No.
Not necessarily. We'll talk later, Robert. I just did that tour. I did that tour 2
Oh
weeks
my
ago,
gosh, that's
so it was
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've met Garner Holt a bunch of times at the IAP Expo, and and of course he has a booth there, and we've talked stories, and he's told me stories, and I even think if you search on this YouTube channel, the Disney Bound YouTube channel, you can probably find some interviews with Garner Holt on there as well, because I know I've interviewed him many years ago in the past. So, but yeah, that would be cool.
You need to say, sure,
But
great.
yeah, so I think that's gonna like really wrap it up here for our Halloween coverage this year. Like I always say, when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary, if you check it out once, if you love it, go back. But if not, hey, that's awesome too. And then whatever you go from there. So, is there anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap this up?
No,
And I think Michael froze. So,
Yeah,
all
I
right.
got so I've got
Oh, go.
somebody was actually throwing out a couple of ideas. I need to stay in
Okay.
this Facebook chat more because they're all, and I know I have to start
Yeah,
heading
of
out. But
course. What do we got
she's
here?
saying she used to give all her, Michaeline saying she used to give away all of her candy. I
Okay.
guess I don't know if she means when she got home, but rather than toss it, you bring it.
There you go.
She's like, we're doing all this stuff. Bring back things like Star Wars weekends and fireworks if it'll help keep the
Thank
cost down a little
you.
bit.
Thank
Fireworks, dessert
you.
parties, and the things that used to be cool instead of
Mm.
concentrating on these near $200 events. Yeah,
You
Star
know,
Wars weekends were awesome, but do they need to do that now with as
yes.
much?
Yes.
I'd
Yes.
be there.
Yes. The thing about Star Wars weekends is I I love Star Wars weekends. It's the greatest thing ever. But the best part of Star Wars weekends, I don't think will ever come back, and that was the hyperspace hoopla. And if I remember the story correctly, that is the reason why there is no more Star Wars weekends, because someone from Star Wars went and saw the hyperspace hoopla, which look it up on YouTube if you haven't seen it. I know I've got videos on this channel of some of the hyperspace hooplas. The greatest thing with the Star Wars characters, other than the movies, that they've ever done. And they just thought that they thought it was too that the hyperspace hoopla, basically what the hyperspace hoopla was, a dance party contest with the Star Wars characters. It was heavily themed. The characters, we got Vader doing the moonwalk and all kinds of. It's made some of the most viral clips ever that I still see to this day on YouTube from like years ago. But the Star Wars team decided it was something that did not fit into the Star Wars universe, and obviously the stuff is not canon or anything like that. So they just were like, yeah, we don't want this to be a part of Star Wars, which I hate so much, because it's so lighthearted and fun, and you get to see the characters in such a different light, and it's fun and playful, that it just, oh, I wish they'd bring that back so bad. Ooh,
Yeah.
you
So she
shouldn't get
made
me
some good
started
points.
like that at the end of the
I
show.
know. Again, if I was following along earlier, but I wanted to make sure I got her points in there. She's also very
Oh,
kind. She always shares our videos on her Facebook group.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
We appreciate it.
if you're not already a member, consider joining. All these groups are free, and you're going in
Yes.
there with other people. So if you're in the Disney Earfluence group, if you're not, go give it a join. I know she's always
There you
looking to
go.
boost membership. She's got thousands of members, and can't hurt for more of our listeners to join and get in there and do some
Of course.
conversation. Same with our group. All social media interaction is great, and we'd love to hear from you. Send an email, follow along in the chat. Uh, we want to hear from you folks. Are you still attending the
Absolutely.
uh, the Halloween and Christmas parties? Has it priced you out? What are the things you look forward to? Why do you keep returning year after year? Want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, leave those comments down below underneath this. Let us know what you're thinking. But I think that is going to do it for this week here. Um did you guys have anything left to say? And please don't get me started again because I want to wrap this up. But
Yep.
you really tried hard with the Star Wars weekends thing.
Yeah,
But is there anything else before we go?
yeah. Before she brings up another awesome point, let's wrap up because we could be here all night having fun with this.
All right. So that being said, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. As always, you can find us on the Disney and Beyond YouTube channel. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitch, and wherever your favorite podcast platform is. And as I always say, if you can dream it, you can do it. So thank you for joining us this week. It was good to be back, guys. And we will see you guys next time. See you next week, guys.
All
Bye
right.
now.
Good night. Bye bye.